Kodak just released two brand new 35mm color film stocks. Well, sort of. On October 1st, 2025, Kodak announced the release of Kodacolor 100 and Kodacolor 200 C41 color negative film. Today we're looking specifically at the Kodacolor 100. Now for me, the coolest part of this release is who these films are actually coming from. You see, ever since Kodak did the whole bankruptcy thing about a dozen years ago, there's been a division of duties. Eastman Kodak has produced the film, and Kodak Alaris had the rights to distribute and sell the film. The big deal about these Kodacolor films is that these are coming directly from Eastman Kodak, not through Kodak Alaris, which to me is a sign that maybe Eastman Kodak is getting a little bit more committed to the whole film game. Now, as to whether this is new film or not, well, let's start with the name. The Kodacolor name or branding is definitely not anything new. Kodak introduced the Kodacolor name during World War II over 80 years ago, so that name is even older than me. Now the packaging is new, and I think Kodak hit it out of the park with this design. For me, it strikes the perfect balance between classic and modern, but the packaging doesn't really matter. It's the film stock itself that matters, right? Well, yes and no. As photographers, you and I, by definition, are visually oriented people. So I think there's something to be said for good looking packaging like this, and appreciating that packaging is nothing to be ashamed of. Again, the name's not new, the packaging is, but what about the film stock or film emulsion itself? Well, Kodak has publicly stated that both Kodacolor 100 and 200 are sub-brands of existing Kodak films. So that tells you right there that this is not a newly developed emulsion, this is an existing film stock. And that has led to rampant speculation as to what the original film stock is that this is based on. Full disclosure, I can't tell you for sure exactly what this stock is. Now here's what I can tell you. We know that this is 100 speed film, and Kodak makes a bunch of 100 speed films. Now we also know it's C41 color negative film, so that means we know it is not Kodak T-Max 100, because that's black and white film. We know it's not Ektachrome because that's E6 color positive or slide film. We know it's not Ektar because this Kodacolor 100 film does not have the same in-your-face, over-the-top punch and saturation of Ektar. Plus, Ektar is more expensive, and Kodak wouldn't undercut themselves by selling this new Kodacolor 100 film at a cheaper price. The going price for this film is shaking out to be somewhere between $9 and $10 in the US at most retailers, which is a pretty fair price in 2025. A lot of internet sleuths think that this Kodacolor 100 could be repackaged Kodak Pro Image 100, and I've shot Pro Image 100 before, and I do think that this Kodacolor 100 film does have some similarity with the Pro Image, but I'm not convinced it's exactly the same as Pro Image. If you want to see what Pro Image 100 looks like, I've got a video all about that film linked at the end of this video. Some people are convinced that Kodacolor 100 is Kodak's VR 100 film. Word on the street is that VR 100 is what Kodak supplies to Lomography for Lomography's Color 100 film. I've never shot that Lomography film, so maybe, could be. Other people are speculating that maybe this Kodacolor 100 is some kind of modified cinema film. Bottom line is, I haven't seen any spec sheets or curves on this film, and my take on it is this. Unless they work for Kodak, anybody who is definitively telling you what this film stock is probably just blowing smoke. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to show you what this film stock looks like. So now I'm going to share with you a montage of images I've taken on Kodacolor 100 in my Canon Elan 7N. Stick around after the images and I'll give you my final thoughts about this film, and I'll tell you about one of my favorite photography interactions ever that happened while I was shooting this film. Here is Kodacolor 100. All right, let me tell you about something I thought was pretty cool that happened while I was out shooting this film. So I was in Sydney, Ohio, which is about an hour and a half from where I live, shooting this little diner called The Spot. And this guy on the sidewalk came up to me and said, "Hey, are you with the newspaper?" And I said, "No, I'm just taking pictures on my own." Then he asked me if I was local, told him where I was from, and it turns out he was from Lima, which is about 35, 40 minutes away from Sydney. And we struck up a conversation. Now, I don't consider myself a true street photographer. I have my moments, but for the most part, I'm kind of introverted, and I can be a little bit timid when it comes to approaching people I've never met before on the street to take their portraits. And this is the cool part. After talking for a while, he said to me, "Hey man, you mind if I get in a couple of your pictures?" Of course, that was music to my ears. And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to take your picture. Just let me get a better lens on here," because I was shooting my 22 to 55 millimeter kit zoom lens. And I switched over to the only other lens I had with me, which was the 40 millimeter f2.8 pancake lens. Threw it on f2.8 so I could get at least a little bit shallower depth of field. And we shook hands and thanked each other. And I got a couple of cool street portraits out of this, but more importantly, I was able to make a connection with somebody doing something that I absolutely love. And it just doesn't get any better than that. Now, as far as this film stock itself is concerned, I really like this Kodacolor 100. It's got good contrast, nice saturation, fairly fine grain, pretty decent shadow detail at a fair price. I think it's a great daylight film, and it's definitely going to be my go-to film stock for macro florals going forward. I just love the way those flower shots turned out. If you want to find out about more film stocks like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel, where I now have over 450 free videos all about film photography, with many more to come. And I'm only 88,000 subscribers away from my silver play button, so you know what to do. Until next time, do some good, have some fun, and shoot some film.